Hi everyone, I'm Sarah Hall, and today I'd like to talk about a very important part of nurturing your spiritual sensitivity so that you can experience it as the gift that it is. Today's topic in spiritual self-care is your diet. Now, before we launch into what a profound role food can play in supporting your spiritual awareness, I'm sure lots of you might be wondering, what is spiritual sensitivity? Spiritual sensitivity is a term I use to describe all forms of psychic sensitivity. When your psychic awareness is highly sensitive, there are numerous ways you can be picking up on the spiritual or energetic impressions that are around you. Spiritual sensitivity is on the rise at this current time in our collective growth as a species. We are in the midst of a collective blossoming of consciousness by which we are expanding our ability to sense and understand that we are all one. Through this collective awakening, something is happening to the spiritual energy that moves through you at all levels of your being, mind, body, and spirit. What is happening is that the resonance or vibration of your spiritual energy is shifting to a higher frequency. You see, everything in this universe is constantly moving, vibrating, and changing. Even the so-called non-physical aspects of us, such as the mind and the spirit. Faster moving, higher vibrations are associated with higher consciousness and a closeness to God. A higher and more connected knowledge, understanding, and awareness of the universe as a living entity. Higher consciousness is filled with the power of love and harmony. Lower vibrating consciousness, on the other hand, represents a mindset of separateness from the whole. Lower consciousness is associated with the ego and perhaps some of the more negative or fear-based aspects of being. You can think of higher consciousness as having more of the bird's eye view of the truth, wherein we can easily and harmoniously navigate through the tides of life. And lower consciousness as having a smaller, narrower view, wherein our focus may be centered a little more on our personal, self-oriented, or ego-based concerns. As our species evolves, it is a very important and also natural part of our progression to move into higher consciousness. As we do so, we'll be able to live in greater harmony with one another and greater harmony and sustainability with the earth. So, let's look at how that progression of collective spiritual growth works at the level of the individual. At the level where you and I are perhaps feeling it happening in our day-to-day existence. Overall, this shift is creating heightened sensitivity in human beings at each level of our being. Perhaps you've been noticing that you are more physically, emotionally, or spiritually sensitive. That sensitivity represents a more active, high-functioning awareness within us, an awareness that is programmed to take us into higher consciousness, a place in which we are acutely aware of what serves us as a harmonious human collective and what does not serve us. Because of this, that sensitivity may create feelings of intolerance to things that simply don't serve the higher good. During this shift in consciousness, you may be noticing subtle differences in your perspective, your mood, or your awareness as a whole. You might notice that your relationships are beginning to change. Your worldview and sense of life purpose may be evolving to encompass a desire to make a positive impact. You may begin to be able to sense the feelings and thoughts of other people very strongly around you. You may also feel physically sensitive to harsh, unhealthy environments, substances, or energies, since your vibration is moving farther and farther away from these lower resonating things. If you're wondering if you are spiritually sensitive, you can check out my first video on this topic entitled, "Are You Spiritually Sensitive? Here's How You Can Tell." Throughout the past decade of my experience as an intuitive healer and guide, I have repeatedly worked with people who have felt overwhelmed by their growing spiritual sensitivity. They may feel very different from the crowd as their perspectives and their feelings change. Some may find that they're more emotional and introverted than usual, or even feel physically exhausted, or experience a sense of brain fog from processing so much of other people's spiritual energy without properly grounding and shielding their energy, or nurturing their needs as they enter this new vibration. If you think you'd like to learn a little bit more about grounding, you can check out my video on this topic here. If you would like to learn a little bit more about keeping your energy clear, you can check out my videos on cord cutting and chakra clearing here. Something incredibly helpful I have discovered and experimented with for over 10 years on my own path of growing spiritual sensitivity is that through proper self-care, you can help your spiritual sensitivity to reach its highest potential, all while feeling balanced, happy, and deeply fulfilled. Now, there are so many ways we can engage in this kind of self-care, but today's video is devoted to just one aspect of supporting a balanced spiritual shift through our diet. Your diet has a profound impact on your state of being. And when we take a closer look at the connection between your body, mind, and spirit, you'll see why. We are aware with our whole being. Awareness does not just exist in the brain. We are aware with our entire physical body, with our mind and all that it picks up on both consciously and subconsciously, and we are aware with our very spirits. That awareness is present in each and every one of our physical body cells, right down to the conscious information encoded in our DNA. So, when you are eating, your body, your mind, and your spirit are merging with your food, creating perhaps the most intimate experience we have in this life with Mother Earth, as we literally take the earth into our bodies and make it a part of us. And of course, you're not just taking the physical components of your food into your body, you're also taking the consciousness-based or spiritual properties of your food into your body. At the physical level, your body is breaking down and absorbing the nutrients of your food. At the mind level, you are emotionally and mentally connecting with the idea of your food. Perhaps you're feeling pleasure or comfort or even nostalgia as you eat. Emotion and memory become deeply entwined in the eating experience to the extent that eating is a major cornerstone of our sense of community and cultural identity. Food can behave as our physical body's strength and its medicine. It can induce new states of being in the mind and greatly alter our mood. It can also deeply connect our spirit with the consciousness of the earth itself. Now, just as I said before, there is nothing that occurs at either the physical or mental level of our being that does not also occur at the level of our spirits. So, what is happening spiritually when we are eating? The spirit is merging with the spiritual energy that is connected to our food. So, when you're eating something that might have a sentimental, comforting intention or thought associated with it, you would also be absorbing the spiritual energy of the love that's placed into that food by the person who made it or those that you shared it with. But this spiritual merging with your food includes all the spiritual impressions attached to your food before it made it into your kitchen and onto your plate. For many spiritually sensitive people, this means that if your food was produced in an environment that involved pain, fear, or ecological disharmony, then, you guessed it, you're absorbing those energies at the mind, body, and spirit levels as well. For example, many spiritually sensitive people do not very well tolerate eating meat, eggs, or dairy products raised in fear-based, ecologically harmful factory farm settings. There are several things that happen when we eat factory farmed meat. First, you're consuming and taking part in the fear and pain of the animal who lived and died through this experience. Animals who die in fear release fear and stress hormones as they are being slaughtered. Those hormones end up in the meat, and you then end up absorbing them. The meat also carries the energetic, spiritual impressions and psychic trace history of the animal's experiences. So when you absorb the meat, you also absorb the animal's feelings and experiences. For spiritually sensitive people, this can sometimes result in feeling a heavy mental cloud that's around you. It's experiencing mood swings, or for those who are very sensitive, even feeling depression. Spiritually sensitive people may also notice that their psychic senses can feel a bit clogged as a result of eating these kinds of animal products, as if there is an interference with what they are receiving through the third eye. Again, this is because there are trace impressions of the animal's emotions and experiences that are now being processed through you. This energy often appears as a heavy or toxic looking film over someone's energy field. This energy can add to that feeling of being stifled, clogged, or mentally and physically heavier than usual after eating meat. Now, according to many Native American traditions, when a hunter killed an animal to provide meat for his people, he would pray to the spirit of the animal, thanking it for giving its life and now guiding and teaching the people with its strength, or perhaps with its particular wisdom. This reflects an understanding that those who ate this meat would now merge with the spirit of the animal in a sense and learn its values. The hunter would also thank and honor the Creator, acknowledging Mother Earth for all that it provides us. This show of gratitude and respect was demonstrated even further as the people made sure not to waste any part of the animal and practiced methods of hunting that would not endanger the species, thus respecting the balance of the ecosystem. Because the consumption of animals in this scenario reflected balance with Mother Earth, it created balance within the people. Now, I have known some spiritual sensitives who can tolerate some meat, but usually seem to feel and function the best when they eat animal products in great moderation, and so not every day, and when they source their meat sustainably from clean environments in the wild or from a cruelty-free, sustainable farm in which the animals are allowed to roam and graze and to live a healthy, peaceful life. And of course, aren't given hormones and antibiotics that can disrupt your health. Other spiritual sensitives choose to steer away from animal products altogether and choose a plant-based vegan diet and lifestyle, as any consumption of animal products is perhaps too heavy and energetically intense for them to process. Usually these individuals are highly spiritually sensitive with very strong psychic abilities. They often experience that the consciousness of the animals is altogether a little bit too similar to that of our own to be consuming it. You see, animals process thoughts and emotions similarly to the way that human beings do. So to consume a being of the same kind of consciousness feels spiritually incompatible with them, or even for some morally wrong. Many spiritually sensitive people feel and function their best when they choose a more predominantly plant-based diet. And in working with the angels, I have actually repeatedly received the explanation that as our vibration shifts to a lighter, higher frequency, we crave foods that are of the light, that are of lighter, higher frequencies. According to the angels, foods that are closer to the sunlight have that lighter energy to them. So when we eat animal products, we are a degree removed from the plants who create energy directly from the sunlight. In eating plants, we get as close to the sun, our earthly source of energy, as we can, and the food feels much lighter in our bodies as it is faster and easier to digest. To discover which style of eating you should choose, listen to your body, listen to your heart and your spirit. Ask it what it needs, and it will always tell you the truth. To explore your relationship with food, you can experiment with different approaches to eating and see what works for you. I always encourage those who are considering a dietary change to experiment with eating completely animal product free for some time so that you can become conscious and respectful of what it means to consume animals. And of course, so that you can also feel the difference in health and mental clarity and spiritual energy that eating a plant-based diet can provide your body. Most report that eating either 100% plant-based or mostly plant-based with a limited amount of clean, sustainably sourced animal products is absolutely eye-opening, and the difference it makes in your overall health and in your overall sense of clarity and peace. If you'd like more information on the health aspects of eating a plant-based diet, I've left several links in the description below for you to research a little on this. Now, speaking of eating plants, I'd like to share a message that I have received from the angels with increasing strength over the past several years. According to the angels, it is very, very important that we avoid genetically modified organisms in our food, better known as GMOs. The message that I've received about GMOs is that this food has not evolved with us on this earth over thousands of years as our human bodies have evolved and developed. GMOs are therefore not genetically compatible with us. Now, I'd like to make the distinction that genetically modified plants are very different from hybrid plants. Farmers and gardeners have been cultivating new plant varieties for thousands of years through selective breeding. They do this by cross-pollinating two different but related plants over several generations, eventually creating a new plant variety. Cross-pollinating is natural, and these hybrid plants are just as natural as their heirloom or historic counterparts. GMOs, on the other hand, are made in a lab using techniques such as gene splicing. And rather than combining related plants, GMOs will combine the genes of plants with different biological kingdoms altogether, such as bacteria. GMO corn, for example, is genetically combined with pesticides, meaning that every cell of the corn contains pesticides in it. This corn is actually registered as a pesticide by the EPA. This is in no way how nature intended these organisms to evolve, and it is in no way healthy for us to consume high levels of pesticides, chemicals, and other toxins that are found prevalent in GMOs. Scientifically speaking, GMOs are generally considered an unknown. They haven't been around long enough for us to observe their long-term effects on the human health or on the ecosystem as they cross-pollinate with and contaminate natural plants. Additionally, the biotech company that produces and patents GMOs, Monsanto, does not allow scientists to obtain or study their seeds, leading many to ask the question, what don't they want us to find out? Some studies on GMOs have been done in other countries showing some negative implications. If you'd like to learn a little bit more about that, I have left the link in the description below to a book with some investigative journalism written on this subject. The book is called Seeds of Deception by Jeffery. 38 countries worldwide have now banned GMOs because they have not been scientifically proven safe. My recommendation is that based on that information, intuitively check in with your body and your heart to feel out how GMOs sit with you. Now, I have additionally received the spiritual guidance that GMOs may cause harmful microorganisms, such as bacteria, fungi, or even parasites, to grow in our digestive systems. I received this message about 1 year ago as I was channeling messages from the angels and from the spirit of Mother Earth. In this channeling, I was told that GMOs have a very negative impact on the evolution of microorganisms. Microorganisms such as bacteria, fungus, or viruses evolve so much faster than we do. 3,000 generations worth of evolution can occur inside the span of a week for microorganisms. Human beings' systems do not have enough time to adapt to these microorganisms as they enter our bodies through our food. This can create harmful implications for our digestive systems and for our greater health, because our health is so reliant on the friendly bacteria that live in our bodies, that help us to digest, absorb nutrients, and to stay healthy. After receiving this message, I decided to do a little bit of research and, sure enough, found numerous articles in which scientists, nutritionists, and food activists have been exploring that very same issue. According to the message I received from the angels and from Mother Earth, GMOs also have the potential to contaminate our food supply and global ecosystem in hazardous ways if we allow them to continue to be produced in an unregulated manner. These loving guides communicated the power that each of us holds in choosing a sustainable diet and lifestyle that supports both our health and Mother Earth's, and in speaking up and taking action in our societies to promote an ecologically balanced, healthy environment for us to live in. Though GMOs are currently not labeled in grocery stores in the US, you can still avoid GMOs by buying or growing organic produce. Part of the USDA requirements for certified organic food is that the food is non-GMO. So look for the USDA certified organic label on your food. You can also find foods with the non-GMO project label to ensure you're getting natural food even if the food isn't 100% organic. If you'd like more information on how to avoid GMOs, I have left some links in the description below on that topic as well. So now that we've discussed the physical impact of GMOs on your body and on the earth, let's discuss what is happening at the mind and spirit levels of our being. As I said before, when you eat something, you're picking up on the psychic traces of the spiritual energy found within the food. Mother Earth, the planet we live on, has a psyche and spirit all her own. Her energy feeds us and flows through each of us at every moment of our lives. Her balance, health, and cleanliness is our balance, health, and cleanliness. Our psyche is designed to be perfectly in tune with the intelligence of the earth, such that our instincts, our bodies, our minds, and our spirits move and flow with the cycles of nature. When we get close to the earth, we move into sync with her. This is why spending time outside in nature is so naturally healthy, uplifting, and supportive for our lives. When we sync up with nature at the spiritual level, our souls are connecting with the wise, powerful soul of the earth and her constant, inseparable connection to the flow of the entire universe as a whole. In other words, when you flow with the energy of the earth, you flow with the energy of the divine, the source of all the universe. Now, conversely, when we move away from the flow of the earth, we can feel a sense of disconnect from the divine. For example, many people suffer from depression during the cold months when they cannot get enough time outdoors, directly connecting their energy with the flow of nature. Throughout my work in spiritual healing, I've also discovered that when many of us become aware of disharmony in the ecosystem or partake in it by way of eating foods that create that disharmony, our souls actually grieve. Many of us can carry around deep-seated, subconscious grief or sadness at what we can feel happening to Mother Earth's systems. Food produced in a manner that harms the earth represents an energy that goes against the flow of universal intelligence and divine harmony. And as I mentioned earlier, spiritual sensitivity programs us with an acute awareness of what is and is not harmonious for humanity on our path towards higher consciousness. The subconscious grief or anxiety that many carry over environmental issues is a reflection of our growing intolerance to disharmony and to lower consciousness. The oversoul of humanity and Mother Earth agree on one very important thing. We want the human species to survive and thrive in this world, so that we, the human race, can continue to evolve spiritually. The truth is that in order for us to thrive happily, peacefully, and abundantly on this planet, we must coexist with the flow of the Earth's systems harmoniously. And we are perfectly capable of doing that. Mother Earth is powerfully loving and has great faith in us as we learn and grow in higher consciousness. Mother Earth is also very powerful in her ability to create balance and healing in her systems. So if we join her in that effort, a positive outcome is assured. One way that you as an individual can make a huge impact on your relationship with the earth at a mind, body, and soul level is to be very conscious and intentional about what you choose to eat. When you choose to eat foods produced in a way that supports ecological harmony and sustainability, you thrive with hope, energy, and health on all levels. Many spiritually sensitive people feel absolutely incredible when they add organic, locally grown food to their diets. I experience this myself. And according to the angels, we feel wonderful when we eat locally because our psyche is literally picking up on the frequencies of our Mother Earth's joy, vitality, and health that is flourishing all around us as we live. When you eat locally, you are deeply rooting your energy into the earth. You eat food that has grown with the same rain that has perhaps lulled you to sleep, tapping on your window at night and cleaned the atmosphere that you breathe. You eat food that has grown with you in the same sunlight and the same temperatures that have warmed your skin. Eating local, wild foraged foods connects you with the energies of the forests, rivers, or oceans that you live with. I personally am lucky enough to live near big, beautiful forests filled with edible herbs, flowers, mushrooms, acorns, and pollens, and I love to add these to my diet. Just make sure that you know the land around you well and what is safe to eat before you go foraging. Eating wild foods is powerfully grounding for your spiritual energy and gives you an overall feeling of health, connection, and vibrant living. Our psychic abilities also increase as we eat local and wild harvested foods because we're dialing our psyche in tune with the spiritual frequencies that are around us and therefore becoming more aware of them. Your physical body also loves this because It is getting foods that Mother Earth prepares for our optimal health during each season. To feed your body for optimal health, happiness, and spiritual clarity, listen to your inner voice. Ask your body, your heart, and your spirit what foods it needs to thrive. Research and experiment with eating in new, healthy ways and tune in to the effects this has on your body, mind, and spirit. I also highly recommend blessing your food at each meal. To do this, simply place your hands over your food, visualizing spiritual light pouring from your hands. Thank the heavens and the earth for the beautiful experience of eating, and thank your body for being your beautiful temple. You can also place healing affirmations and intentions into your food to infuse it with healing energy. In the end, remember that eating is meant to be a healing, pleasure, and joy in life. Love and enjoy the experience and celebrate your body and your existence as you're eating. Thank you so much for watching this video. I love you all and know that until we meet again, that you are so loved and so very blessed. Bye!